All right, there has been quite a bit of talk about the decision to opt into becoming an urban county lately here in Lorain County. If you've been watching the news at all, I'm sure you've heard something about this. And I wanted to talk about what this means exactly, who benefits, who may it be a detriment for, is it good, is it bad? Um, so, first of all, being designated as an urban county is a federal funding designation. It is not any other sort of change. Lorain County is eligible for this designation because, well, the cities of Elyria and Lorain, they already have certain federal HUD entitlements. Separating those two communities from the rest of the county, the remainder of the county has a population greater than 200,000 people. That statistic alone, that demographic alone, is what makes Lorain County eligible for this designation. So what does it mean? Well, first, let's start with this. I'm going to tell you what it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean that everyone has to sell their farm and develop a neighborhood or a plat or they don't have to, sell it to Ryan Homes. They don't have to, build a data center on what used to be farmland. It doesn't mean any of that. It doesn't mean that anyone has to change their zoning. It doesn't mean that the county is able to go in and force communities to change zoning or their local ordinances. None of that stuff applies. That's not what it is. So if you live in one of the rural communities in Lorain County, if you're in the southern half of the county, you don't have to change anything. And you shouldn't. You shouldn't have to change anything. And God bless you and your urban county. It's one of the urban community, rural community. It's one of the things that makes Lorain County pretty special is you can go from, a city into basically the country in a very short amount of time. So being designated as an urban county, again, it does not mean that a change in your lifestyle is imminent. Not at all. No, none of the communities are going to change. None of the community governments are going to change. None of that sort of stuff. What it is, as I said before, it is a federal funding designation. So the state administers community development block grants, CDBG grants. And these grants are used for a number of different things. They're granted to communities for infrastructure projects. They're granted to communities for home renovations. A lot of owner occupants in homes are able to take this money and fix things. They're able to replace roofs. They're able to replace plumbing. They're able to fix major problems in their home as long as they meet specific income criteria. There's a lot of lead-based paint abatement that happens because of CDBG grant monies. And this designation opens up Lorain County to a lot more funding and to more specific sort of funding, more targeted funding. So when the monies come from the state, and I think in Lorain County last year, it was less than $700,000 that was spread out amongst the communities who were granted. Now we're talking about getting into the millions of dollars every grant cycle. And if you're talking about people who need lead-based paint abatement in their home or new roofs or new siding or some sort of weatherization, insulation, that kind of stuff, all these things can be funded by CDBG grants. You're talking about a lot more homes in the county and possibly your community who are going to benefit from this program. And that's a fantastic thing for everybody, for the people who live there, certainly for their neighbors who are concerned about property values. It's just a great program. The pushback that has been reported in the news is really from township commissioners who are concerned about, what's going to happen. So there are townships who complain that there's not enough transparency or an explanation. Like they need better information than this last minute approach to this designation. More control needs to be given to elected trustees. Without credible implementation plan, it could become wasteful, etc. These are some of the things that people are saying, and they're okay. It's okay pushback. When I say okay, I mean It's valid. I'm not going to invalidate these concerns, but I think these concerns arise out of a true lack of understanding what the program is. And instead of doing a bit of research and understanding what the program actually is, what the designation means, they're sitting around and waiting for someone else to explain it to them. There is one very solid, legitimate objection to it, and that is if a community who opts in, if they have a project that is approved through the county, they are then, if they receive that money, they are then ineligible for 3 years to go after state money. So there will still be state CDBG funding. That's not going to go away. And now there's federal CDBG funding, right? And what's nice about this program too is if you are awarded federal funds and or state funds, one or the other, you can then use that as an in-kind match towards the other funding, right? So for a lot of communities that want to use CDBG funds to improve infrastructure, put new sewer lines in, things like this, they have to match a certain amount of money that are becoming available from the state, right? Usually it's like 50-50. So with this new designation, you can get money from the federal government and use that as a part of your match for state funds to really be able to expand your renovation projects through your community. So maybe you're only able to do a sewer line, water line project along one main thoroughfare. With this match, maybe you can do 2 or 3, right? And you're able to really improve your infrastructure in a much shorter amount of time. That is a tremendous benefit that communities in this county are going to be able to pursue if we go here. But again, you lose access if you take federal money and you do a project, you lose access to the state grant monies for 3 years, and there's no guaranteed annual allocation, right? So if you take federal monies 1 year to do a project, you kind of need to make sure you're going to get the whole project done or have enough money left over to get the remainder of it done, because even though they gave you $2 million this year, there's no guarantee they're going to give you $2 million next year to complete the project, right? That's the major criticism of it. So a lot of the pushback also comes from this. This is a county-controlled program, meaning the county commissioners and their staff are the ones who get to choose what programs they are going to submit for the federal funds, and they're going to choose when the federal funds are distributed to the county, they're going to choose which programs receive that money. And here in Lorain County, there has been a tremendous amount of contention between county officials and local municipal officials, right? There's a lack of trust. There's an apparent lack of transparency. I'm not saying I know anything more than you guys do, but all this stuff is very, very clear. I mean, the sheriff has been at loggerheads with the county commissioners. County commissioners have been called to the carpet for various things. That said, that's no reason to shut this program down. That's the reason to vote for somebody else the next time the election cycle comes around. I personally am in favor of this. Anything that's going to help bring money into our county and into the communities who need it most, and help to improve neighborhoods and infrastructure, and in general, make our county a better place to live, which, hey, why not? Lorain County has been one of the fastest growing counties in the state in the past decade. During COVID, when most things seemed to be on the decline, when most counties were on the decline, Lorain County grew and grew and grew, and it continues to grow, right? It's the fastest growing county in the state. And so even though, let's supplement people and their own money with this is money we've already paid, guys. This is tax money, whether it's been taken from us by the feds or by the state. This is the money that you and I have worked for, that they take from us without a choice. Well, let's open up our county to receive some of it back. All of these CDBG grant funds only go to improving our communities. And if we are willing to do that and accept that money, and it changes nothing about the governments, about the zoning, your rural lifestyle will not be threatened at all. As again, it shouldn't be. It will not be by changing this. All this does is open us up to more monies. And if you don't like the way the county commissioners handle it, we'll vote them out next time. It doesn't mean to, cut off our nose to spite our face because we don't like who's currently sitting in office. That should not be the reason that we decline this designation, right? I don't see a reason to decline the designation. I don't. Again, if you don't like the way it's handled by the county commissioners, we'll kick them out of office next time around and put people in there who give you better feels, who you think are going to be more honest with it. So that is the skinny on the urban designation that communities and community officials here in Lorain County are seeking. If you got more to say about it, if I missed some things, if there's greater concerns that I didn't address, please put it in the comments. Let's talk about it. These are things that are going to affect us in one way, shape, or form. I personally believe it's going to affect us in a good way, and I'm in favor of the designation. If you have real legitimate concerns about it, please put it in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Maybe we can get some officials on to talk about it. Maybe we can get a little debate going on here. That said, hey, thanks for joining me, guys. As always, take care of yourselves and take care of one another. I love you, people. See you next week.